Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create a life and business they desire. So, today's topic is brought to you by a networking event that I went to last week. It was called a CEO Roundtable, and it was my first time going, and to be totally frank, I had no idea what to expect. I just thought, you know what? I need to start doing some networking locally. I had been feeling called to start doing some collaboration, and I hadn't been invited to this event, and I thought, okay, let's give it a whirl and see what happens. And it was really quite interesting because not only did you do some networking, but they also broke off into small groups and were doing some problem solving for CEOs, right? And most of the CEOs, most of them were small business CEOs, there's a handful of employees kind of thing. And what was interesting was one of the breakout topics was priorities and time management. And I am an expert in this. And so I thought, you know what? Let me go to this group and see how I can help, right? I wanted to be able to give back to the community at this networking event. That was my intention. It was, okay, what can I give to this group as opposed to what can I get? That was my intention going into the networking event, was what can I give to people? And not meaning what can I give them my business card kind of thing. It was, how can I support them in wherever they are? And so when we first got started with this, there was the gentleman running the group had asked, he had several topics up on the board as to things that would be interesting to people. And he mentioned, work-life balance. Has anybody achieved this? And I was like, yeah, because I'm very intentional about it. And is it perfect every day? No, but it's in a really great place. And I can say I do have work-life balance. And everybody turned and looked at me because I raised my hand, and I thought, okay, well, this is going to be interesting, right? And so we break out into the small group, and one of the things that the CEOs were talking about in terms of their time management and their priorities was there's not enough hours in the day, right? That was something that was said quite frequently, or there's always so many things to do, right? And I started to think about how how I've created this work-life balance in my own life and what that looks like. And one of the key things here is, one, I know what my priorities are. And if I ever feel out of whack or out of alignment, I check in on my priorities. And that I've shared that in a full episode previously. But the other thing here, which is really important, is being able to delegate. And when you start a business by yourself and you're doing all the things, and then you start to have to bring people in, it can feel difficult to delegate that stuff. And it can feel difficult because you've had ownership of that thing for so long that to give it over, you're like, well, I can do it. I can just do it faster. Like, it's not a big deal, right? But then your day is filled with all of these tiny little tasks that the big stuff doesn't actually get looked at. And that big stuff is what you actually need, what you as the owner should be looking at in order to grow your business, right? And so as we were talking about this stuff, right, they were talking, and I had another client that I was speaking to last week about this as well. And it's the idea that they're constantly putting out fires, right? Like, they haven't given their team members enough authority, enough power for the team member to workshop the idea themselves, right? It's been micromanaged essentially, right? And I laugh when I say that term because sometimes my children will micromanage me. And I'm like, listen, no. I know what to do. I'm capable of doing it. Please don't micromanage me, right? Like, my 7-year-old, she'll be like, Mom, can you order me ice cream for lunch? And then I'll say, yeah, when I get home, I'll order it. And so I drop her off at school and she'll remind me. again, on the way out, like, Mom, don't forget to order ice cream. Now, because there have been a couple of occasions where I have forgotten to order said ice cream, right? But I'll look at her and go, I already set the reminder on my phone. I'm good, I got this, right? But we tend to do this because we believe that we can do it better than the person we've actually given it to. So what are some ways to begin to delegate? Well, I like to take my clients through the exercise of the love, like, hate, delegate exercise. Love this so much. It's really, really powerful when you are trying to unload the things on your dish, right? Because again, we oftentimes do all the things, not because we want to, but because we can. And just because we can doesn't mean that we should. And so what I have my clients do, whether it's at home or business, I have them legitimately make a list of all the things that they take care of, right? And as they go through that list, I want them to check in with each one of those things. Do they love it? Do they like it? Or do they absolutely hate it, but they do it anyways, right? Those things that are in the hate column are the things that should be delegated out very quickly, right? Especially if you've been in business for a little while and you're still doing all these things that you hate. They're taking away from the power of your business and taking away time from the things that you actually love to do. So, for instance, okay, things that I delegate to my children at home, right? Emptying the dishwasher, cleaning the kitchen, vacuuming from time to time, cleaning the bathrooms, right? If my kids are home, if they have a day off during the week or we've got some downtime, I will delegate those things out to my kids because I don't want to do it. Can I do it? Yeah. I just don't want to. I don't love it, right? I don't love cleaning my bathrooms. Now, there are some times where I get into this cleaning fit and I love cleaning because I love the clean feeling after the clean, right? But that is one thing that I delegate out. We had a cleaning lady for years because when I was working on my dissertation, I was like, I need to find more time to do this dissertation while not getting overwhelmed. So, babe, we're going to get a cleaning lady. And he was like, okay, cool. And it saved me, 3 hours a week. I do it in 2, but thoroughly my cleaning lady was doing it in about 3 hours a week. And it saved me time. And it was something I could easily delegate. I didn't micromanage because I was like, clean is clean is clean, but it had taken me time to get there, right? And so when I delegate these things to my children, one, I figured out the thing that I want to delegate. So if it's in that hate or delegate column, start letting go of it. Because chances are, even though you can do it, somebody might be able to do it better than you. I know, it's shocking, right? It's crazy, right? Somebody on your team might actually enjoy it more than you, right? My cleaning lady, she loved coming to clean. It was very therapeutic for her. She enjoyed her work. That's why she did it. She didn't do it because she needed the paycheck. She did it because she wanted to. And she loved it. And it was something that she enjoyed that I didn't want to do, right? And it was a beautiful thing. And so there are people out there that love the thing that you don't love. So let them be really good and love the thing that you don't love. And it'll be better because it will free up time for you to actually focus on the things that you love. Cool, done, right? So figure out what you hate and begin to delegate that. And then for those of us who are control freaks out there, right? Guilty as charged, right? When you delegate it, be clear about what your expectations are. Make sure that it's being delegated in a way that you're not having to go back behind and do it anyways, right? Nobody wants that. You don't want that, and your team member doesn't want that, right? And I say team member because I think of my kids as team members here, right? So when I ask my kids to clean their room, I am very clear as to what that expectation is, right? If I say, hey, go pick up your room, I know that's going to be a different pick up your room than, hey, pick up your room to mom standards, right? They know what my standard is now. We've talked about it multiple times that they know what a clean room is according to mom. And so Once you know the thing that you want to delegate, you have to be clear as to what that expectation is. Now, they don't have to do it the same exact way that you do it for it to be done. I know, that's shocking, right? Totally shocking. There are actually over 2,500 different ways to clean dishes, turns out. I read in a study one time. I don't know why people are studying this, but I digress a little bit, right? But, right, same sort of thing. Done is done. It doesn't matter how it was done as long as it's done. Okay? As long as they get that thing done, do you care how it's done? No. Right? As long as my laundry gets folded, do I care how it's folded? No, typically not. Now, sometimes I will straighten out the clothes a little bit more because they've been willy-nilly thrown onto the hanger, and I don't want them to be super wrinkled when they go into my closet, right? But that is a room for tweaking. That's not me firing my kid being like, that's it, you can't ever do the laundry again, right? They would love that because they don't love the laundry. But it gives them a learning activity there, right? You can say, hey, next time when you hang it up, just make sure that it's not so wrinkled on the hanger. It's a learning process there. So if you're delegating something to a teammate, one of your team members, right? You have to be clear on what that expectation is and know that they're probably not going to get it right the first time, and there will be room for growth there. Or they could knock it out of the park and they could be doing the thing way faster than you ever did, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I delegate that sooner? Yeah, but here's the thing. When you're able to delegate stuff, you empower your team, you make it a team effort, thereby they become more motivated because they're not being micromanaged, right? Which, if you're micromanaging your team members, chances are they're going to peace out and be like, done, see ya. I don't have the time and energy for this, right? And you're going to have a very high leave rate. I lost the word for that. Turnover, that's the word I want. A very high turnover rate. If you're losing employees regularly, you've got to look at that. What is it that's happening? And take responsibility for that. Yeah. It's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel awkward. It's gonna feel like you have extra time at first because you're like, well, oh, actually I did that thing, right? And you can set this up. There are plenty of tracking systems, computer, team, Google, right, whatever. There are plenty of systems where you can say, you know what, here are the things that have to get done this week. Sally's doing this, Joe's doing this, I'm doing this, you're doing that, right? And it's a team effort, and you can just check in, you can watch the progress of that thing. It's really quite cool. And then you don't have to micromanage and constantly check in and make sure that the thing's okay, right? So, if you are struggling with meeting the priorities of your own business, you need to look at where you can delegate, because there are things that you love, that you're really great at, that you should continue to do, and that are probably income producing activities, right? That the other things can be delegated to staff members, right? To your team, so that you're not doing all of this stuff all the time. Because what's the point of having team members if you're still doing everything? Bringing on team members is supposed to free up your time so you can do the stuff that you love. Yeah. It's going to be beneficial all around. So when I give my kids chores, right, they get chores so that I can spend more time with them and I'm not doing all the chores. I can actually be present with them. Same thing as I begin to grow my business again, right? There will be things that I know right out of the gate, I'm not going to love doing this. I'm going to do it in the beginning for a little bit, just for a little bit. And I know this, right? There'll be things that I'm doing right now just for a little bit, but they will be delegated out, right? Cleaning lady is one of them. That is on my list of things to hire in the next month or so, because I don't love it. I would love to pay somebody who loves to do it, right? So go ahead and make that list. Think of all the this is not wasted time. Let me just tell you that. okay? Because I can hear kind of the kickback already that I've gotten from clients is, well, that's too much. That's going to be a lot for me to figure out all that I do. Okay, but if you don't figure it out and you don't ever delegate it, nothing will ever change. You're going to continue to do all of the things, and you're going to continue to not have time for the things that actually matter in your business. And then a year from now, you're going to wonder why you're in the same place. Take the time to get clear on all the things you do, what you love, what you like, and what you can delegate. Your love column should only be a handful of things. And then you can delegate everything else, because if you're really honest, there's a bunch of things you don't love doing. And they're energy suckers. And they're taking you away from the stuff that really matters to you. So, I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.